All right, let's get a move on then. And India clearly is emerging as a strong religious area, as well as with spiritual tourism seeing a pick up. This is largely on the back of the Ram temple inauguration that took place recently. In fact, data indicates that the on-platform searches have shot up 1806% since its inauguration. Let's pull all of that into perspective with Suma Venkatesh, Executive Vice President, Real Estate and Development at Indian Hotels Company, now joining us on the show. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in. And clearly the surge in spiritual tourism, it not only signifies this growing interest in the sacred sites of the country, but also, of course, underscores Ayodhya's newfound prominence on the global spiritual map. How exactly have you read into this?
Hi, good morning. To talk of spiritual tourism, I must say, as Indian Hotels, we have been in many spiritual destinations for a very long time, with a presence in Nasik, in Katra, in Amritsar, in Rishikesh, Haridwar, in Tirupati. So, as a company, we are not new to spiritual destinations. And we see a huge growth in travel to these locations, especially across the country. And as country is on a upswing, and with growth in travel, we see huge potential. So in terms of timing, I think Ayodhya presents a great opportunity for us to have a significant presence there. And as on date, we have signed 2 hotel contracts. 100-room Vivanta and 150-room Ginger. And we see there will be opportunities to take all our brands and across all segments to Ayodhya. And there are already, I think, some in the offing, and hopefully we should announce all of them soon.
Suma, good morning. Nikunj also joining in. Well, India is changing, and I can see that you're also looking different, new look.
Yes. I think change is the new constant, right?
Change is the new constant. So when it comes to religious tourism, and especially if one looks at the data in last 3 or 4 years post-COVID, there seems to be a resurgence. I was looking at the footfalls in Banaras, Ayodhya, Mathura. Is there an internal thought that this is a business, this is a category you need to now really focus on? And if this was something which was part of a number 2 or number 3 strategy, this will now become a strategy which could be prioritized?
So, to tell you, as IHCL, we have always been pioneers and looking at actually creating new circuits and new destinations and bringing new locations to our customers. So, as I just mentioned, we are not new to spiritual destination, right? Like, we have a huge hotel in Varanasi, and we are expanding that hotel. So, spiritual tourism was always on our strategy and on our radar. Just like wildlife, or the beach circuit, so the palace, the Golden Triangle in Rajasthan. So spiritual tourism is very much part of our strategy. And as you rightly said, in the last few years, post-COVID, we see a huge resurgence in the spiritual tourism industry. And we are kind of well-timed to capitalize on all that we were thinking and expand our presence. To give you an example, we are looking at more hotels in Varanasi, or we are expanding our presence in Tirupati, where we already had a hotel, and we are building more, and we'll be doing more hotels there. We are expanding our Lucknow property, which will really help us in creating a circuit between Varanasi, Lucknow, and Ayodhya. So there is a lot of thought that is going in entering different destinations, and spiritual tourism is definitely one of them.
How much as a percentage pie could religious tourism contribute to Indian hotels in next 3 to 5 years?
So if I were to put a number today, we would be about 40% of our operating portfolio would be in spiritual destinations, or in a location which is maybe an hour's drive from a major pilgrim and religious site. So it is a significant, part of our portfolio.
Very big number, Suma. So now curious to know, beyond Ayodhya and Varanasi, what are the other places that you're scouting for opening hotels at spiritual sites?
So, as I mentioned, there are two approaches. One is in big markets where we see huge growth in spiritual tourism. We are penetrating more into those markets. Like, for example, we are doing another hotel in Nasik. We'll be doing more hotels in Varanasi. And we will also be opening new markets like Puri. We should be opening a Taj soon in Puri, which will connect Bhubaneswar, Jagannath Puri, and Puri Konark. So I think these, we are also opening something in Kumbhalgarh, which will help us, create a circuit there. We also have a couple of hotels where in Udaipur, to Srinathji, and then to connect those to the palace properties and other hotels that we have in the city. So there is quite a good lineup of hotels that would be coming.
All as spiritual as well as leisure travel. When it comes to categories like Haridwar, Rishikesh, are they spiritual or are they leisure?
So, well, this is a very interesting question. Like somebody was asking me, is Ayodhya spiritual, leisure, or what is this? So, the way I see is these hotels will attract all segments. Spiritual, yes, for sure. They will be business travel. They will be MICE because there'll be conventions on religion, on spiritual aspects of it, and they will be leisure. As we have all been talking, there is no straight-jacketed leisure, spiritual or business. We talk of leisure, so maybe there will be spiritual and leisure together. And we have been seeing that in our hotels in Katra, where people do come to go to Vaishno Devi, but they have also spend an extra day to stay in a property and relax and, for rest and relaxation. So it will be a combination of both spiritual, culture, and leisure.
Okay, fair enough. Spiritual, cultural, leisure, whatever it is, people sure are booking their hotels fast, and the boom is very evident. But what about the average pricing? I just want to understand, just given the kind of numbers that we're seeing in terms of the boost for searches for some of these places that's growing, will the average pricing be a bit marked up due to the surge in demand? Are there going to be special pricing? I'm talking about some of the new hotels that you're planning.
So pricing is a function of the demand in that market, and also will depend on the time of the year, weekends, weekdays, and we all know if there is a huge event, the pricing can really vary. So I would not really say that we are going to put a cap on pricing or price it ridiculously high just to take a quick short-term benefit of the location. I think it will be commensurate with what the demand is and what the brand really stands for and what facilities we would offer.
Okay, thank you so much for taking time out, and we hope to visit these new hotels as well quite soon.
Yes,
All right.
I'm also looking forward to go to all these properties for both leisure and spiritual tourism.
Absolutely.